Hello. My name is Quatechia Renee, and you are watching Quatechia Creates.
My baby, my Valentine. Girl, are you there making the temperature?
In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove a vinyl decal. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Here's the tumbler we're going to be working on today, and the plan is to remove this NICU off of this design. The customer accidentally ordered the NICU version of this tumbler for a mother-baby nurse. I was partially at fault, so we're going to fix this for her. To remove the decal, we are going to need our heat gun and our weeding tools. So we're going to get started by using our heating gun to heat up the area that we're going to be removing the decals. I'll be completely honest, I did not warm up the area long enough because it shouldn't be this difficult when you're pulling up the vinyl decal. Now this was only my second time doing this, so that's why it's a little trial and error in the beginning, but I did eventually realize that I needed more heat, and then I pulled out my heat gun. 30 seconds should be good, but if you find that you need more heat, give it more heat. So here we are giving it another try after we've heated up some more, and it is much easier. I probably have about 3 layers of epoxy on top of this NICU, and also the shorter amount of time that the tumbler has had to fully cure. Remember, well, if you're not aware, a full cure takes about 30 days. So the closer we're getting to the 30 days or beyond the 30 days, it's going to be more difficult to remove the vinyl. This one has been curing. It's been finished for at least 2 weeks, probably pushing 3 weeks. So at this step, we're just going to use whatever tools we find necessary to get the job done, because we're picking through epoxy and we're also pulling up vinyl. So I use a combination of this tool and the tweezers, whatever you need to get the job done. And once you start to notice that it's getting more difficult to pull up, it's not just, coming up like butter. You want to just apply some more heat and give it a go again. While you're doing this process where you're applying the heat to the epoxy, you do want to make sure that you are wearing a mask and you're working in an open ventilated area. So once we've picked through all our epoxy, this is what she's looking like. So right now we're going to give her a good sand. After this, we're going to clean her up and we're going to apply some epoxy after she's dried. I am currently using a 60 grit sanding block with light pressure, and I'm going to sand this area first, and then I'm going to sand all over the tumbler because I want to give the epoxy something to hold on to. So I'm going to scuff up the entire surface, but lightly. I purchased this sanding block from Amazon in a pack of 10. I'll leave a link down below. Once we are completely done sanding the tumbler, we are going to take it to the sink and wash it with some Dawn dish soap and warm water. After that, we're going to come out to the garage and pop her on the turner, and we are going to coat the tumbler with a thin coat of epoxy and let her spin overnight. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, turn on your notification bell so that you can be notified each and every time I upload. Thank you! The next morning, the tumbler had a little bit of divots where the letters were. So what I did was I went ahead and coated it with another coat of epoxy. I let that spin for about 6 to 8 hours, and then the next day I put it in my epoxy dryer for about an hour and a half so it could be safely cured. And this is what she looked like after coming out of the epoxy dryer. You can barely see it, but I don't know if my eyes are playing tricks on me or not, but I felt like I could see something. Someone who didn't know that there was a decal there would not notice anything, I'm sure. But just to put my mind at ease, I reached out to the customer and asked if she was okay with me putting a decal there. I originally suggested putting the word nurse there, but instead she preferred that I put RN. So this tumbler is very, very smooth. It doesn't actually need a coat of epoxy on it. If it was going out the door, then I definitely wouldn't be worried about that. But because I'm going to put a decal down, so I'm going to do another layer of epoxy, I'm going to sand the tumbler all over because that helps give the epoxy something to stick to. Now that we've washed our tumbler and dried it off, we're ready to apply our decal. Okay, so now we are applying our last coat of epoxy. After I apply this coat of epoxy, I am going to put it in my epoxy dryer. It's this red thing that's right beside the surface that we're working on, and we're gonna let it dry for about an hour and a half. You guys, if you have any questions at all, please drop them down below in the comment section, and I am very active in my comment section, so please feel free. Also, if you haven't, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, turn on your notifications so that you can be notified every time I upload. Here's what she looked like after one coat of epoxy. Absolutely beautiful, and you can't tell a thing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, please comment down below. Until next time, bye-bye.